Hello and welcome to the ASUG News Studio at ASUG Annual Conference in Sapphire Now. I'm Craig Powers, and today I'm really excited to be joined by three gentlemen from the U.S. Department of Interior to talk about how they migrated their large federal system to the cloud. And so today I'm joined by Michael Johnston, Bill Campbell, and Martin Quinlan. So I guess just to start out with, I guess start with you, Michael. Why did you decide to move your huge system to the cloud?
Well, we had a decision to make, Craig, back in 2011 as we started planning for the replacement of our current captive infrastructure. And so we really had to make a decision between do we buy, do we lease, or do we outsource? Right. And there's a number of tremendous advantages in the flexibility, the visibility of the controls, the ability to pay only for metered services that the cloud offered. So we took a very aggressive stance on that and went for it.
And just to follow up, what systems are you moving?
The financial and business management system is largely an SAP ECC implementation with Business Warehouse with a couple of bolt-ons. But it's mostly back office applications for the entire department, 70,000 employees.
Oh wow, 70,000 employees. Jeez. So with 70,000 employees, what are the challenges that you guys face as a federal department, and kind of what was the timeline like?
The biggest challenges we faced on moving from a in-sourced hosting structure to a cloud one was establishing the trusted relationship across all the different parties, because this is a new contract for us, new cloud service provider, all that. So making sure that everybody understood their roles and how to execute those roles with good communication, that's the biggest challenge. The second biggest challenge for us was making sure that we all had the right project management discipline, because that, again, comes back to the communication, to the roles, to the timeline, all that. From a technical perspective, the security that you have to have around a federal cloud, that's different, and we're actually in our own cage in their center, so that was a big challenge for us. Our timeline, once we had the contract in place, we did a pilot, then we redid the pilot to make sure that we had it right, and that finished in March of 2014. Then the first thing we moved was our production support landscape, and so we moved our development environment. We got that up in December of 14, then our testing environment in February of 15, and we're moving production in June of 15, so we're almost there.
Almost there, wow. Yeah, that sounds like it's been a long process, but I'm sure you're excited for it to be close to completion.
Yep.
And since you're so close, Bill, I know you're the lessons learned guy. Since you're so close, what are some lessons learned that you could share with maybe someone watching that could be applied, either to another government organization or even to maybe a private organization even?
Sure. Over 2 years, there are probably several hundred, but here are three. Okay. The first one is to anticipate there's going to be misunderstanding between you, the customer, and a cloud service vendor. A couple of reasons for that. Number one, it's not unreasonable for large broker organizations to have both a business development proposal team, if you will, and a service delivery team. They're separate organizations. They may not talk. They may not even know each other. And so service delivery may go into the engagement with less than complete understanding of what's been committed to. The second thing is that the cloud broker and the cloud service provider have their contract. The broker and the government or the customer have their contract, and sometimes the two contracts don't match. And so cloud service provider sometimes is surprised at what has been committed to, and which they didn't expect. There's one. A second one, I think, is to anticipate that the security requirements and information assurance satisfaction are going to take a lot of time and attention.
Right.
In our case, any government entity, the security requirements are very exacting and voluminous. It is a huge discipline. And being able to meet all of those takes a lot of time and effort. Don't underestimate that. The third one is to build in a way to gracefully exit if it turns out that the cloud environment doesn't meet your needs. In our case, as Martin mentioned, a pilot. It was built into the contract that there be a pilot. We would recommend putting the pilot satisfaction specifications into the solicitation, funding only through the pilot period, and therefore if it turns out that they can't deliver the performance or within the cost structure that you specify, then you can just run out the clock and exit with a minimum investment.
Well, that's great advice. If you know it's not going to work, there's no reason to stick with it with such a long project.
That's true.
Well, thank you guys for joining us, and I really appreciate your insight.
Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. For more customer stories just like the U.S. Department of Interior, head to asugnews.com.